Simon Cowell's life reads like a script written in extremes: fame and failure, power and vulnerability, reinvention and regret. To the world, he is the sharp-tongued judge who built global entertainment empires and discovered some of the biggest stars in modern music. But behind the cameras lies a far more complicated story, one shaped not just by success, but by pain, loss, and deeply personal battles that few ever saw. His journey is not merely about climbing to the top of the television industry. It is about what it cost him to get there and what it took to survive once he arrived. From a childhood marked by emotional distance to a career filled with ruthless ambition, Simon's life has been defined by a relentless need to prove his worth. Along the way, he faced bankruptcy, public humiliation, physical trauma, and the quiet weight of grief. 2 near-fatal accidents forced him to confront his own mortality, while personal losses reshaped his understanding of what truly matters. Now in his mid-60s, Simon Cowell is no longer the same man who once thrived on criticism and control. Time, hardship, and reflection have transformed him. This is the story of how an invisible boy became a global force, and how life ultimately taught him that success without meaning is empty. A childhood without warmth, Simon Cowell was born into a world that appeared comfortable and secure, yet emotionally it was anything but. His family lived in a well-to-do environment, surrounded by the appearance of stability and privilege. However, beneath that polished exterior, young Simon experienced something far more isolating: a lack of emotional connection. His mother, elegant and socially admired, remained distant in ways that left a lasting impression on him. Love was never openly expressed, and affection felt conditional, scarce, and often absent. His father, a disciplined and achievement-oriented man, reinforced a different kind of silence. Approval was never freely given, and praise was almost non-existent. This absence of validation created a deep emotional void. Simon grew up constantly seeking acknowledgement, craving a simple affirmation that never came. That silence shaped his inner world, planting seeds of insecurity that would later drive his ambition. At school, things didn't improve. He struggled to fit into a rigid system that valued conformity over individuality. Teachers viewed him as difficult, and peers overlooked him. He wasn't lacking intelligence. He simply didn't thrive in environments that demanded obedience without inspiration. The combination of emotional neglect at home and rejection at school created a powerful sense of invisibility. This early loneliness would become the foundation of his personality. It didn't make him stronger in the traditional sense, it made him hungry. Hungry for recognition, success, and a sense of worth that had been missing from the very beginning. The invisible young man leaving school with minimal qualifications, Simon entered adulthood already burdened by self-doubt. While others moved forward with clear paths, he found himself drifting through a series of unremarkable jobs. Each failed attempt reinforced the belief that he was destined to remain unnoticed. The world didn't seem interested in him, and he began to internalize that indifference. Eventually, his father helped him secure a position in the mailroom at a music publishing company. It was a humbling start, far removed from the glamour of the industry he would later dominate. Every day, Simon watched others succeed while he remained in the background, sorting letters and delivering messages. He was physically present in a world of creativity and fame, yet completely invisible within it. The frustration grew unbearable. At one point, he quit, convinced he could find something better, but reality proved harsher than expected. Opportunities didn't come easily, and failure followed him. Financial pressure mounted, and with no other options, he returned to the same mailroom job he had once walked away from. The humiliation was profound. During this time, Simon experienced moments of deep emotional struggle. Nights were often filled with doubt and fear about his future, yet something began to shift within him. Instead of surrendering, he started observing. He studied how the industry worked, how decisions were made, how artists were shaped, and how success was manufactured. The invisible young man was quietly learning the rules of the game. Learning the industry from the ground up, returning to the mailroom, wasn't a defeat. It became a turning point. Simon began to treat every day as an opportunity to learn. He paid attention to the smallest details, understanding that success in the music industry required more than talent. It demanded instinct, timing, and the ability to recognize what audiences wanted before they even knew it themselves. He slowly climbed the ranks, eventually earning a junior position that allowed him more exposure to the creative side of the business. While the role wasn't glamorous, it provided something far more valuable: insight. Simon realized that behind every successful artist was a carefully crafted strategy. Image, branding, and presentation mattered just as much as musical ability. This understanding ignited a new sense of purpose. For the first time, he felt like he had control over his direction. He wasn't just another employee, he was someone preparing for something bigger. The lessons he absorbed during this period would later become the foundation of his success. But ambition can be both empowering and dangerous. Armed with newfound confidence, Simon decided to take a major risk. He left the security of his job to start his own record label. It was a bold move, one driven by the same hunger that had been building since childhood. For a while, it seemed like the risk would pay off. Success came quickly, and with it, a taste of recognition he had long desired. Yet, as he would soon learn, early success can be as fragile as it is intoxicating. Rise and collapse of a dream, Simon's first venture into entrepreneurship, brought him exactly what he had always wanted: visibility, influence, and financial success. His record label gained traction, producing hits that climbed the charts and earned industry attention. For a brief period, he experienced the thrill of being someone important. The boy who once felt invisible was finally being seen. With success came lifestyle changes. Money flowed in, and so did opportunities. Simon embraced the image of a rising mogul, enjoying the rewards of his hard work. It felt like validation for years of struggle. He had proven, at least temporarily, that he belonged in the industry. But the music business is unpredictable. Trends shifted, and the type of music his label specialized in quickly lost its appeal. Hits became rare, and financial stability began to crumble. What had once seemed like a thriving enterprise started unraveling. Contracts failed, revenue declined, and the pressure mounted. By the time he reached 30, everything had collapsed. The company was gone, and Simon was left with significant debt. The emotional impact was devastating. He didn't just lose a business, he lost his identity. Once again, he felt invisible. But this time the fall was even harder because he had experienced success before losing it. Forced to move back into his parents' home, Simon faced a level of humiliation that few endure. It felt like his life had come full circle in the worst possible way. Yet even in this low point, something within him refused to give up. Reinvention through failure forced Simon to confront himself in ways success never had. Living back in his childhood home, he had no choice but to reflect on his decisions and rebuild from scratch. It was a painful process, but also a necessary one. He began to reassess not just his career, but his mindset. Instead of seeing failure as an endpoint, he started viewing it as a lesson. The collapse of his label taught him resilience, patience, and the importance of adaptability. He realized that success in entertainment required constant evolution. Standing still meant falling behind. With renewed determination, Simon returned to the industry, this time with a clearer understanding of what worked and what didn't. He focused on developing ideas that aligned with audience interests, rather than chasing trends that could quickly fade. Slowly but steadily, he began rebuilding his reputation. This period marked a significant transformation. He was no longer driven solely by the need for validation. He was driven by strategy and experience. The hunger remained, but it was now tempered by wisdom. Eventually, his persistence paid off. Opportunities emerged, and Simon positioned himself at the forefront of a new kind of entertainment, televised talent competitions. These shows would not only redefine his career, but also reshape the global music industry. What began as a second chance would soon become something much bigger, a platform that turned him into one of the most influential figures in television history. The birth of a television empire. Simon Cowell's breakthrough came when he transitioned from behind-the-scenes work to on-screen presence. Talent shows provided the perfect platform for his unique personality. His honesty, often perceived as harsh, set him apart from traditional judges. Audiences were drawn to his blunt critiques because they felt authentic. These shows became massive successes, attracting millions of viewers worldwide. Simon wasn't just a judge, he became the face of a new entertainment era. He understood how to create compelling television, blending talent with storytelling and emotional connection. Contestants weren't just performers, they were narratives that audiences could invest in. Through these platforms, Simon helped launch the careers of numerous artists who went on to achieve global fame. His ability to recognize potential and shape it into marketable success became his trademark. He had mastered the formula he once studied from the mailroom. Financial success followed on an unprecedented scale. His empire expanded, and his influence reached across continents. He had achieved everything he once dreamed of: power, recognition, and wealth, but success came with its own challenges. The same bluntness that made him famous also attracted criticism. Behind the scenes, pressures mounted, relationships strained, and controversies emerged. The man who judged others so confidently began to face scrutiny himself. Despite the success, something remained unresolved. The validation he had chased for so long never fully satisfied him. The emptiness from his early years lingered, quietly reminding him that external success cannot replace internal peace. Personal loss and emotional reckoning. As Simon's career flourished, his personal life became increasingly complex. Success brought opportunities, but it also came with sacrifices. Relationships were tested, and moments of connection were often overshadowed by professional demands. Over time, he began to experience losses that forced him to confront the emotional side of his life. One of the most profound impacts came from losing people he cared deeply about. These experiences shifted his perspective in ways that success never could. Fame and fortune suddenly felt insignificant compared to the fragility of life. The loss of a young artist he had mentored was particularly devastating. It wasn't just a professional connection, it was deeply personal. The grief was overwhelming, serving as a stark reminder that life is unpredictable and often unfair. For someone who had spent years building careers and shaping futures, the inability to prevent such loss was unbearable. It highlighted a painful truth: no amount of power can control everything. This period marked a turning point in Simon's emotional journey. He began to prioritize relationships over achievements, recognizing that time with loved ones was far more valuable than any professional milestone. The experience didn't just bring sadness, it brought clarity. It forced him to reevaluate what truly mattered and set the stage for a more meaningful chapter of his life. Physical trauma and mortality. In his later years, Simon faced a different kind of challenge, one that affected him physically as well as emotionally. A serious accident left him with multiple spinal injuries, requiring extensive surgery and long-term recovery. The experience was life-altering. For someone who had always been active and in control, the sudden vulnerability was difficult to accept. Recovery was slow and painful, requiring discipline and patience. Everyday movements became cautious decisions, and the reality of aging became impossible to ignore. Just as he began to heal, another accident occurred, reinforcing the fragility of his condition. These incidents served as constant reminders that life could change in an instant. The physical pain was accompanied by psychological effects. Fear of further injury, anxiety about health, and the awareness of mortality began to shape his daily life. Activities that once felt routine now carried risk, yet these challenges also brought a deeper appreciation for life. Simon began to focus more on well-being, adopting healthier habits, and prioritizing recovery. He understood that maintaining his health was essential not just for himself, but for those who depended on him. The accidents didn't just slow him down, they forced him to reconsider how he lived. In doing so, they paved the way for a more balanced and mindful approach to life. The battle with self-image in an industry obsessed with appearance, Simon found himself grappling with his own image. Over time, he turned to cosmetic enhancements in an attempt to maintain a youthful look. What Mishuru Anis as subtle changes gradually became more noticeable. Public reaction was swift and often harsh. Critics and fans alike questioned his appearance, turning him into a subject of ridicule. For someone who had built a career judging others, this reversal was particularly difficult. Simon eventually acknowledged that he had gone too far. Looking in the mirror and not recognizing himself was a wake-up call. It wasn't just about appearance, it was about identity. The experience forced him to confront the pressures of fame and the unrealistic standards it creates. He realized that chasing perfection often leads to losing authenticity. Deciding to stop cosmetic procedures marked a significant shift. It was a step towards self-acceptance and a rejection of external expectations. This journey wasn't easy, but it was necessary. By embracing his natural self, Simon began to rebuild a healthier relationship with his image. It was a reminder that true confidence comes from acceptance, not alteration. Fatherhood and a new perspective becoming a father changed Simon in ways nothing else had. His son brought a sense of purpose that went beyond career achievements. For the first time, he experienced unconditional love, the very thing he had lacked growing up. Fatherhood reshaped his priorities. Time spent with his son became more valuable than any professional success. Simple moments reading stories, sharing laughter, spending quiet time together took on profound meaning. This new role also influenced how he viewed his legacy. Instead of focusing solely on wealth and accomplishments, he began to think about the values he wanted to pass on. He made it clear that he didn't want his son to inherit money alone, but rather a sense of purpose and responsibility. The contrast between his own childhood and his approach to parenting was striking. Where he once experienced emotional distance, he now offered presence and affection. It was a conscious effort to break the cycle. Fatherhood didn't just soften Simon, it grounded him. It provided a sense of fulfillment that fame never could. In many ways, it became the most important chapter of his life. A legacy redefined as Simon entered his mid-60s, his perspective on success evolved. The empire he built continues to thrive, generating immense wealth and influence, yet his relationship with that success has changed. Material possessions no longer hold the same significance. Cars, houses, and luxury items have become secondary to experiences and relationships. He has shifted his focus toward philanthropy, supporting causes that provide opportunities for others. His approach to work has also transformed. Where he once thrived on intensity and control, he now values balance and collaboration. His role in television has become less about dominance and more about guidance. This evolution reflects a deeper understanding of life's priorities. Success is no longer measured by numbers or achievements, but by impact and meaning. Simon's story is no longer just about building an empire. It's about redefining what that empire represents. It's about using influence to create positive change rather than simply accumulating wealth. Conclusion: the measure of a life. Simon Cowell's journey is not a simple story of success. It is a story of resilience, transformation, and self-discovery. From a childhood marked by emotional distance to a career defined by global influence, he has experienced both the highest highs and the lowest lows. What makes his story compelling is not just what he achieved, but what he learned along the way. Fame brought recognition, but it didn't bring fulfillment. Wealth provided comfort, but it didn't heal emotional wounds. It was only through hardship, reflection, and personal growth that he found a deeper sense of purpose. Today, Simon stands as a different man, one shaped not just by ambition, but by experience. He understands the importance of presence, the value of relationships, and the necessity of self-acceptance. His legacy is no longer defined by the stars he created, but by the person he became. It is a reminder that life is not measured by external success, but by internal growth. In the end, Simon Cowell's story teaches a simple yet powerful lesson. True success is not about what you build, but about who you become along the way.